Mining? Fishing. That was it. All right. Nice. Good job. That was really good. Yeah, so there were a lot of very dirty, dangerous jobs up here in Whatcom County, and that drew a lot of people to this area to come and find this employment. But there were some other reasons that people might go to the four corners of the U.S. during this time. Maybe to escape the strict confines and the social norms of the Victorian era, maybe to escape a very sordid past, or maybe come to commit some more crimes or new crimes, because you probably have a much lesser chance of getting caught up here in an area so remote at the time. So we'll go ahead and take off the rosy colored glasses that this mural would maybe have you look at history through, and put on our darkest, biggest hangover glasses for the rest of the tour. Does that sound good? Okay. So are you all familiar with the Victorian era? Yes. So for those of you not familiar, the Victorian era was the time during Queen Victoria's rule in England, and it was a time of peace and prosperity for England, as well as in America, because we were still very attached to the mothership at that time. And during Queen Victoria's rule, her husband, Prince Albert, passed away, and she went into mourning for the rest of her reign. So the Victorians really adopted this idea of a romantic death, and with that came a lot of very interesting mourning practices. So we'll go into a few of those. I'll use myself as an example. So let's say my husband dies. I would go into mourning, full mourning, for 2 years, and that would mean wearing all black all the time, and my only social event would be church. So, yeah. And let's say, I've done my 2 years of mourning. I maybe am wearing like gray and purples now, and my brother dies. It's not appropriate for me to wear the same clothing that I mourned my husband in, so I have to go out and get a whole new wardrobe. Mourning wear was very popular at the time. And so like the type of jewelry you might be wearing would be dark stones, nothing flashy, nothing sparkly. But let's say my husband had really pretty hair. I could send his hair into a jeweler and make it into a pin or a brooch. Yeah. And thanks to us fucking millennials, this is still available on Etsy today. Yeah. So another little more superstitious practice. Let's say I go to church a few weeks after my husband has passed away, and I make eye contact with this nice lady here. The soul of my husband then transfers onto her, and he is her fucking problem to deal with. Yes. So to prevent that from happening to every random person on the street, I would wear a veil, so that to prevent eye contact from happening. This was when it was kind of a fresh death. So we have some pictures here. Fresh death. Pictures here of mourning photos. Their faces aren't even showing, but these photos were really expensive. Another type of photography that was really popular at the time was post-mortem photography. So like I said, it was really expensive to get your photograph taken. So usually the only photograph that you might have of yourself, well, not you, but your loved ones, would be your dead body, for your loved ones to remember what you looked like before your body decomposed. I can make that more specific. So they would use like things to hold up the arms, things to keep the neck propped up, maybe pieces to keep the eyelids open, or maybe the photographer would print out the photograph and just scratch out the eyes altogether and then paint them in. That works too. A lot of people think that they have found post-mortem photography nowadays, especially with children, but that's usually not the case. Because the aperture was so small back then, it took a lot of time for light to come in, and so you had to sit there for a really long time. And kids are so wily that they would use the same things that they used for dead bodies to prop up just wily little fucking children. Oh, you already did. Yeah. So we clearly had a very intimate relationship with death. When your loved one passed away during this time, you would wash the body, you would maybe wrap the body, you would build the casket, you would bury the casket in your property usually, and the body would be out for a week because people would want to come visit the body before it decomposed too much. So you really did everything handling the death of your loved ones. And I'm going to read you a proclamation from Whatcom Township at that time. So we're here in Bellingham now, but it was 4 little towns back then.